Mr. Singh, would you, for 6 minutes?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Singh, yes.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, through you, my questions are as follows. The first one is, it's pretty clear that things are going well at Bell if you're a shareholder and a CEO, but not if you're a worker and not if you're a consumer. Bell reported a whopping $2.3 billion in profit last year. As CEO, you, the chair, profited or pocketed $13.43 million in compensation, but Canadians are paying some of the highest cell phone and internet fees in the world. You laid off in 9 months over 6,000 employees. How does a profitable company justify these layoffs, particularly in light of the hundreds of millions of dollars in subsidies from the government? How do you justify that? And is it just about making even more profits? You're already profitable. So what is the justification?
So, when we make our decisions, we have our consumers front of mind in terms of media, our viewers front of mind, the investments we need to make to better serve consumers and viewers. And we're doing this in an environment with, as I said earlier in the appearance, increasing cost, bad foreign exchange, high inflation, increased competition, which is a fundamentally good thing. So we have to manage all that.
Mr. Bibic, just to understand, did you say that your justification for laying off workers is because you had the consumers in mind? I must have misheard that, because that does not make any sense at all to me, sir.
Oh, it makes very good sense, because what we're trying to do is continue to grow.
You fired 6,000 workers because you're worried about consumers.
If I may, correct, because we want to continue.
I have a hard time understanding that. Well, I thought I must have misheard you, sir, but go on then.
No, I'll explain. What we need to do is to continue to invest in our networks, in our content, in our services to better serve consumers and viewers. And in order to continue to invest...
Sir, sorry, you're saying invest, not divest. Because
we need to continue to grow.
You're firing workers and you're saying that's an investment?
We need to adjust to the macroeconomic environment around us. In Canada, we have one of the most poorly performing economies in the industrialized world. We have a massive productivity problem, which the Bank of Canada has identified as a crisis. We have to adjust to that macroeconomic environment around us so that we can continue to grow our revenues, yes, so that shareholders and lenders will continue to give us capital so that we can continue to invest to better serve consumers. That's how the loop...
Okay.
That's how it all ties together.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that. So I want to point out something, just to ask you to kind of look in the mirror. You tried to blame the government by saying the government didn't act fast enough, didn't help your company fast enough. I want to outline some of the choices you made, because I think this is really a choice. I don't agree that this is something you had to do. You chose to give $3.71 billion in dividends to shareholders. You chose to buy back stocks for $140 million in 2023. You pocketed a staggering 42% pay increase from 2020 to 2023. You could have chosen to prioritize workers with that money. You could have chosen to give consumers a break and make it more affordable for cell phone and internet fees, particularly at a time when people are struggling with the cost of living. But you chose greed. How do you justify that? Those are choices you made.
Thank you for the question. I would start with we are continuing to lower wireless prices each and every day to the point where our prices are fundamentally lower than they are in the U.S. In fact, I appeared on March 18th in front of Indu, and we established all those facts. I'm sure the transcript is available. Just this week, we launched a new service at very low prices called No Name Mobile, which is going to better serve customers who are in the market for lower-priced cell phone plans. And as it relates to dividends, an important fact that gets lost when we have a discussion around Bell dividends is that we're very unique. 46% of our shareholders are individuals who rely on that dividend, and about 70% of employees at Bell are also shareholders. So that's very unique. The individual shareholders who invest in Bell, the individual Canadians who invest in Bell, they like the dividend, and we're supporting them as well along the way. So we're trying to, fundamentally, we need to come to grips with, if we don't have Canadian companies that grow and that invest in critical infrastructure like ours and that create jobs, we're going to have a massive problem in the country, and that goes for media as well. Like, we should be having a discussion, broadly speaking, because we have the right forum for this and the right individuals here. How do we fix Canadian media? Because without a Canadian broadcasting system, there will be no news, except maybe the CBC.
Thank you.
And we need to figure out how to keep Canadian news alive, and I'd love to have that conversation as well with the honourable members.
Bibic, I'm pointing out the choices you made. The choices could have been to keep the jobs. The choices could have been not to have such a massive dividend or massive stock buybacks or massive pay increases to your own compensation. And the choice could have been to keep more workers. I'll end with my final question.
We're always managing for the short term and the long term, because if we don't make
my final question is regarding companies.
I'm sorry.
We're also trying to preserve 40,000 jobs.
Mr. Singh has the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Through you, for the final question, Madam Chair, is Canadians for Tax Fairness indicated that over a 4-year period of time, that using tax evasion tactics, including tax loopholes, that Bell as a company was able to avoid paying $1 billion in taxes. I'm wondering, how much do you plan to avoid paying this year in taxes?
I'd need to get, if the honourable member could kindly provide that report, we'd be happy to provide a response to the clerk. I'm not aware of that report.
Absolutely. It's publicly available. It's the Canadians for Tax Fairness, and I'm sure they have a public website as well. We can absolutely make that clear to you, but I'm curious about how much you're trying to avoid paying taxes again this year.
We will take a look at the report and file an answer so we can give a considered answer to the very good question. Thank you.
You look at that answer, Mr. Bibic, being sent to the clerk of the committee.